It's January 26th, 2013. A 21-year-old student named Elisa Lam checked into Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles. A trip she hoped would bring some clarity as a young woman trying to find her place in the world, while also battling bipolar disorder and suicidal thoughts. The final known sighting of Lam was captured on elevator footage from the hotel she was staying in. Later found dead was the same woman in a rooftop water tank which supplies shower and drinking water to the entire hotel exactly 17 days later. Elisa's strange behaviour and the inexplicable circumstances of her death have left investigators and experts confused. What happened? Elisa Lam, or Lam Ho Yi, was born on April 30th, 1991, in Vancouver, Canada, to parents who had emigrated from Hong Kong. She was a bright, ambitious young woman, described by friends and family as kind, creative, and deeply thoughtful. Eliza was a student at the University of British Columbia, although she wasn't enrolled at the time of her death. Like many young adults, she was dealing with the pressures of academics and life. But for Eliza, these struggles were compounded by her battle with bipolar disorder and depression. Elisa documented her thoughts and struggles on her blog, titled Nouvelle Nouveau, where she openly discussed her mental health challenges. Her posts show a young woman trying to find her place in the world while coping with the weight of her own mind. In January 2013, Eliza decided to take a break from her routine, planned a solo trip, hoping to get a fresh restart. On January 26, 2013, Eliza arrived in Los Angeles and checked into the Cecil Hotel. The Cecil Hotel, located in downtown LA, had been home to numerous tragedies over the years, including suicides, murders, and even 2 notorious serial killers: Richard Ramirez, also known as the Night Stalker, and Jack Unterweger. Lam's death is just one of an unknown number of people who perished within the Cecil building's walls. Lam was initially placed in a shared room, but due to complaints from her roommates about her odd behaviour, she was moved to a private room on the hotel's 5th floor. For the next few days, she explored Los Angeles, visiting places like the San Diego Zoo and writing about her experiences online. On January 31, 2013, Lam was supposed to check out of the Cecil Hotel and continue her trip to Santa Cruz. She never made it. When her family didn't hear from her, they grew concerned and contacted the Los Angeles Police Department. The LAPD began their investigation, scouring the hotel for any sign of the woman. They searched her room, interviewed hotel staff and guests, and even brought in search dogs to comb through the building, including the roof. But there was no trace of her. On February 13, 2013, the LAPD released the now infamous elevator footage, hoping for leads. The video quickly went viral, and widespread speculation and fear were born. In the footage, Elisa is seen entering the elevator and pressing multiple buttons. She behaves strangely, peering out of the elevator as if expecting someone, hiding in the corner, and making bizarre hand gestures. The elevator doors remain open for an unusually long time, and Elisa's actions grow increasingly frantic before she finally leaves the frame. For nearly 3 weeks, Elisa remained missing. On February 19, 2013, hotel guests began to complain about the water, its strange taste, colour, and low pressure. Maintenance worker Santiago Lopez Wua was sent to the roof to inspect the water tanks. Inside one of the 4 1,000-gallon water tanks, floating face up, was the body of Lam. She was completely naked, with her body was partially decomposed and bloated. There was no sign of physical damages or even suicide. Lam's clothes, watch and room key found nearby in the tank. It was a strange discovery since the rooftop was locked and only accessible to staff. The water tanks themselves were over 8 feet tall, with heavy lids that required significant effort to open. There was no ladder or easy access, leading many to question how Elisa got up there in the first place, let alone inside the tank. The coroner's report ruled Elisa's death as an accidental drowning, with bipolar disorder listed as a significant factor. The toxicology report showed traces of her prescription medication, but no illegal substances or alcohol. However, the report noted that Elisa was under-medicated at the time of her death, possibly contributing to her erratic behaviour, but for many this explanation was unsatisfactory. This is the official explanation provided by the coroner's report, which ruled Elisa Lam's death as an accidental drowning, with bipolar disorder listed as a significant contributing factor. Elisa Lam had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression. She was prescribed several medications including Wellbutrin, Lamictal, Seroquel and Effexor to manage her condition. However, the toxicology report indicated that she was not taking her medications as prescribed at the time of her death. This could have led to a severe manic or depressive episode, potentially causing disorientation and irrational behaviour, such as climbing into the water tank. The infamous elevator footage shows Elisa acting in a way that suggests she may have been experiencing a psychotic episode. Her behaviour is consistent with someone suffering from severe mental distress, pressing multiple buttons, hiding, peering out of the elevator, and making strange hand gestures. Although the hotel roof was secured by a locked door and an alarm system, it was accessible via the fire escape. It's possible Elisa found her way to the roof through this route, especially if she was in a disoriented state. Once on the roof, she could have climbed the ladder to the water tank and entered it. Another theory posits that Elisa Lam was the victim of foul play, either by someone within the hotel or an outside individual who had access to restricted areas. Critics of the accidental drowning theory point to the unusual circumstances surrounding Elisa's death. For example, the water tank's lid was reportedly found closed, which would have been difficult for Elisa to close from the inside, especially in her state of mind. The theory suggests that someone with access to the hotel's restricted areas, such as a staff member or another guest, could have lured Elisa to the roof. There are also questions about why the hotel's alarm system didn't alert staff to someone accessing the roof, raising suspicions about possible tampering or inside knowledge. Early speculation included the possibility of sexual assault, but the autopsy found no evidence of trauma or assault. However, some theorists believe that the lack of evidence might be due to the advanced state of decomposition, as Elisa's body had been in the water for several days. Given the Cecil Hotel's notorious history and the eerie nature of the case, some have suggested that Elisa's death was the result of supernatural forces or paranormal activity. The Cecil Hotel has been the site of numerous suicides, murders, and other tragic events over the decades. Some believe that the hotel is cursed or haunted, and that Elisa's death was influenced by malevolent spirits or supernatural forces within the building. Paranormal enthusiasts point to the elevator footage as evidence of something otherworldly. Elisa's odd behaviour, the elevator doors malfunctioning, and her apparent interaction with an unseen presence have led some to speculate that she was being influenced or attacked by a ghost or demonic entity. A popular urban legend known as the elevator game surfaced online, where participants follow specific steps in an elevator to supposedly access another dimension. Some theorists believe Elisa was playing this game, which led her to a tragic end. While this theory is more rooted in urban legend than fact, it has captured the imaginations of many who believe in the supernatural. Another theory suggests that Elisa Lam's death was part of a larger conspiracy, possibly involving the hotel management, law enforcement, or even government entities. Some theorists point to the delay in discovering Elisa's body as suspicious. The water tank was searched earlier during the investigation, but was only thoroughly examined weeks later. This has led to speculation that her body was moved or that there was a cover-up to protect the hotel's reputation. There are claims of inconsistencies in witness statements, autopsy reports, and the timeline of events. Some believe these discrepancies point to a deliberate attempt to obscure the truth, whether to protect powerful individuals, prevent a lawsuit against the hotel, or hide something more worse. A more fringe theory links Elisa's death to a government conspiracy. Some point to the tuberculosis outbreak that occurred in Skid Row around the time of her death, and note the eerie coincidence that the test for tuberculosis is called the Lam-Elisa test. Though this connection is likely coincidental, it has fueled speculation about biological experiments or secret government operations. Critics of the official investigation have pointed out several gaps and unanswered questions, such as why the hotel's alarm didn't go off and why certain areas weren't immediately secured. These gaps have been cited as potential evidence of a cover-up. In the end, Elisa Lam was a young woman searching for meaning in a world that, for her, often felt overwhelming.